What's up, y'all? Welcome to the midweek review. So it is currently Thursday morning, and I am in this trade. Now, this is only 2.89, but let me explain. I was originally in this trade, took it, where my entry was originally at, but I got out of it for one specific reason. I was looking at this trade, and I said, okay, there is an inverted head and shoulders. That's not great for me. That's a reversal pattern in the opposite direction that I wanted to go. But I did the whole distance from the head to the neckline and multiplied that by 2 to see that the power of this head and shoulders really should stop around here, which, as we can see, it kind of had. So I should be okay with this entry right here. But then I went down to the lower time frames and I saw what kind of got me in. I was like, that is a huge bullish candlestick. And one thing it did was obviously the trend had been an uptrend. So if this is a huge bullish candlestick and this trend is an uptrend, I then went and I was like, okay, maybe I should have waited for this trend to change back to a downtrend in order to hop in, just as like a little extra confirmation that it's not going to just push up all the way into my stop loss. So I exited out of that trade. Now, that was a little bit of a split decision moment for me because I was like, yes, I could limit some of the loss now and exit out the trade, or I could stay in the trade and just if it hits my stop loss, it hits my stop loss. Now, the way I reasoned this was that I probably shouldn't have been in the trade to begin with because just because it was pushing up like that. However, I've just kind of decided that that's probably something that I need to back test this weekend and in general and just really focus on and look at is if these lower time frames push down, but the higher time frames still look good. So in this instance, the H4 still looks good. Should I just leave that initial stop loss that I had and, maybe it'll play out, or should I consider waiting for the trend to change again? Now, the reason that I really wanted this trend to change again, and it hasn't even here yet, in my opinion, but the reason I wanted this trend to change is more or less so because of this inverted head and shoulders. Had that inverted head and shoulders not been there, I probably wouldn't have looked to have the trend change, and I probably would have just stayed with my original entry because that is what I had been doing, but I do think a little extra confirmation would be helpful when having a reversal pattern going against you. That being said, when I got back in, I got in at a worse area. I could have made another entry somewhere up here. As we see, it would have tapped and it would have been a great RR. But something that I didn't want to do was wait for the perfect entry. So that is something that I definitely am struggling with right now, is waiting for the perfect entry or finding the perfect entry. Yes, a lot of the times there will be, a solid entry point, but it doesn't mean that it's going to, I guess, tap me in. And I think having a few or looking at a few where it didn't tap me in because of that perfect entry idea, and I'll show you that right here. So this one, I actually had put a limit here and I was thinking about getting in, but I realized it was probably for the best that it didn't tap me in because I should learn more from these kinds of setups and these kinds of trades before I actually hop in them. I haven't worked with them a lot because I usually don't counter trend trade. So what I did was I went to the weekly, I looked at it, I said, okay, this is a bullish trend. Now, something that I don't like is that, in my opinion, we have a head and shoulders right here. Now, another thing that I need to back test, and you'll see, this is why I'm a beginner. This is why I'm just trying to review things and really learn from my mistakes to become profitable. Starting to take this more seriously, especially for this year. 2025 goal is just to be consistently profitable. And then once I've hit a year of being consistently profitable, then I will actually consider myself profitable. Little side rant. Anyway, this is a head and shoulders to me. However, I don't know if it's confirmed. Would I consider this the neckline or this the neckline? If I consider this the neckline, then it's not a confirmed head and shoulders. And with it not being confirmed, it's not a reversal pattern yet. If we go to GBP USD and we have this clear head and shoulders, it pushes up, it clearly pushes past the neckline, both if you count this or if you count this, it pushes past both, meaning it is confirmed for sure. Whereas on JPY, it doesn't push past both. It pushes past the one, but that doesn't necessarily mean it's confirmed. Now, we are under this huge weekly area, but when we go to the daily also kind of had an area in this space, so I shrunk it a bit just so that it made sense. Now, in this case, I believe that since we are on a daily uptrend and we are on a weekly uptrend, previously I was thinking, okay, maybe it'll come up here, bounce off there, but I knew that that wasn't going to be enough of a retracement. It was just a possibility to happen. Well, now we have an even better look, a better place to enter, which is down here, because coming down here, it has a good retracement, push up to, probably this high because we're on an uptrend, and that's pretty much this trade. We did have this inverted head and shoulders here, clearly more confirmed. Again, it passes this neckline, but when it comes to this, we are clearly bearish. So what I was thinking is, yeah, we're bearish, but we see it tapped this zone and it started to make bullish microstructure. So within everything, it's bearish. But we kind of started to turn bullish a little bit. And in my opinion, because this had such a drastic drop, this is a perfect place to have a TP. It's like a magnet. It wants to go back up there, right? And that's also because the daily and the weekly are both bullish. So with both of those things being bullish, the 4-hour having a lot of upside potential because of all these gaps, I was thinking, yeah, I could probably hop in and it'd be all right. But considering how inexperienced I am with this kind of setup, I did have it set. It did tap pretty much perfectly, but of course with spread and everything, it didn't tap me in, and I didn't have an alarm set, so I couldn't go and manually get in. I could put it back there. It looks like it might be coming back down, but I'm just going to leave it and let it play out however it's going to play out. I do believe that this has good potential to push up, but I can also acknowledge that every time frame below the 4-hour is currently bearish. It has started to move and kind of fill in these gaps, but it is currently bearish. GJ did me dirty. Really, I did myself dirty. The question becomes, should I just stick to the pair that I've been analyzing all week and hop in if it gives the opportunity? Or is it okay to go and look at other pairs? Because what I did with GJ was essentially say, okay, yeah, I see this. This would have been a loss had I taken it, but I didn't. I did take, a few scalps. This scalp, I took this scalp. This is me editing. I'm going to show you these scalps in the review. I've decided from here on out after this video that anything in the midweek is just going to be what's already happened in the trades that I was looking at, or if I'm switching to new trades. It's not going to be really reviewing trades. But yeah, to summarize it, I took this one and I let it hit my stop loss. I took this one and I didn't want to watch it. And if I'm going to scalp, I need to actually scalp, but I had to do stuff. So I just hopped out of it. It did end up winning like I thought it would, but I did not have GJ set to tap me in and take this bigger trade, which is a trade that I was looking at taking the entire week. It just, in my opinion, didn't look as good as Euro JPY, which didn't go up to tap at all. I don't want to be in two JPY trades because likely if one loses, the other's going to lose. But also, if one won, the other probably will win. They both won in that case. It's not always that way, but I just don't want to expose myself to that kind of risk. So GJ was the pair that I had been looking at, but it didn't look as good to me when it came time for entry. Euro JPY looked a lot better. And in terms of that, and because of that, I missed out on a winning trade. This one went in the direction, so hey, two correct directions, that's great, but it just didn't tap me in. Odd Chef, I kind of looked at it down here a little bit when it was down here. I don't know. I don't really like it, to be honest with you. I do think it's going to go up in the ugliest way possible, so I just kind of want to stay out of it. NZD USD is doing whatever it wants to do. It kind of created a double bottom here. This we do know because it did actually pass the neckline. If I wanted to, I'm not going to, but if I wanted to, I could do something like this and it would still be within structure and everything. So let's look here. Yeah, I could literally take this trade for 405, 525. I know I said I wasn't going to, but I looked at it and it kind of looks good. I kind of would take that trade. I'm not going to lie to you. But it's NZD USD and I'm currently in GBP USD. Going for a sell here. In terms of this trade, in terms of this entry, we're at the highest point. We're at a weekly zone. This is a lower high, and this is kind of the last spot for it to reverse. So trying to hop in and get that reversal. So this is also a counter trend trade. Yeah, definitely should have waited for this shift in structure here. But hey, it still might lose. It is what it is. Real quick, why NZD USD looks nice is because, well, it's kind of very interesting. There's a lot of upside potential here, obviously, because of these gaps on the weekly. We are currently bearish. However, there's not a lot of places for this to reverse, at least not a lot of places that it's consistently hit. Maybe there, which might be close to, oh no, we're above that. Yeah, maybe right here it could potentially be, but it's not anything too pressing. And that was also a while back. So now the daily is pretty much clear to proceed to the next weekly level. Realistically, obviously I'd put that take profit at the daily level, but it is clear to proceed to the next weekly level. We go here, there's a beautiful rejection candlestick on this EMA. Oh, I love to see it. Maybe the daily would want to take us out about right here. That's still 2.85. Could probably squeeze a 1 to 3 out of it. I don't know, y'all. I don't know. It's kind of looking good. I'm not going to lie to you. We had this inverted head and shoulders. It came back, touched down, and pushed up from there. Then we come, now the only thing about it is that it's this H4 zone. We come to this H4 zone after a huge push up, retrace, come off of this EMA right there. Yup, looks great. One thing I will say is that you could technically count this as like an elbow and it be a bearish trend. I wouldn't count it. This would be what I would count. But I don't know, especially that upside potential goes crazy for not very many pips. I am thinking about it, but I probably won't get in. Again, because I'm already in GBP USD. Now, these trades technically would be going against each other. I don't like that. I don't like that at all. This one is with the trend for the bottom two, and GBP USD really is only with the trend for the weekly, but it's at a daily high. So, I mean, yeah, out of the two, if I probably would have paid a little bit more attention, out of the two, this one definitely looks better than GBP USD at this time. However, I will say it's kind of the same thing. GBP JPY or Euro JPY, like where I went and looked for something else, and then the original one won, the other one didn't even tap in, which in that case, I guess would be the best case scenario. Euro CAD kind of doing what I thought it would do. Came up here, pushed down. When we go down to the lower time frames, I did not get in this one due to just how it looked, to be honest with you. NZD JPY, I mean, this is kind of the same example where it would have tapped in at would have been here. It would have been above that high, and it would have gotten taken out. It would have made it to 2.4 before it was taken out. And then possibly could have found a re-entry to take it down. Euro USD looks like it's kind of in the middle of doing what I had expected. It came here. It's probably going to push up. It probably will come back down and push up again, but it's what it's currently doing. All right, and finally, this right here, I forget which one. This one. This one, this is like a simulated trade. So originally, I wanted to see this thing come up and push down. It did in its own right. If we go back to the daily, if we put the little line right, what am I looking for? Right here. If we put that little line right there where there's kind of, some structure that it potentially could have bounced off of. I'm trying to make this a better line. Then we come up here, we see that this perfectly tapped that. There was probably somewhere to get in that area. I can't really remember. I'm going to be honest with you. Maybe something like that would have been fine. Take it down here. You get a 1 to 2. If it were to be a little higher, what time is this? Yeah, I'm not awake, but this would have been a better entry. At this point, the stop loss is probably up there, be 2.57 or 2.8. You could put the stop loss here. It's bold. It's real bold for you to do that, but it's possible. Moral of the story is that there was a way to enter. I probably wouldn't have entered it, but there was a way to enter that had someone somewhere seen it. Come over here. This one looks beautiful, right? It's the same exact thing. So instead of looking for it up here, now we're looking for it down here on this daily line. It pushes up. Wonderful. Love to see it. Now we just want to see that push down. Well, hold on. Pause. So basically, we're still looking at this downside potential here on this H4. We see this move push down, push up right at this daily line. We even have this nice rejection candlestick, but that would have came after the fact. We come further down, zoom in. We could enter here. We could enter here. This is super high up. And again, trying to aim for that perfect entry almost that it's likely not going to hit. If it's up here, it's probably going to your stop loss. Is basically it. So from here, we put our entry there, put our stop loss above this high, and then see what it does. See if it plays out. If it plays out, makes it to the next line, basically, it should give us about 1 to 3, maybe a little less. But this is a great trade. I would take this trade if I was trading futures. I would 100% take this trade. Thank you so much for watching if you are a random stranger of the internet. If you're like me and you're a beginning trader, I would 100% recommend doing what I'm doing and just record yourself while you're thinking about taking these trades, while you're analyzing them. Because for me, it has been super helpful to see what I missed, to see the mistakes that I made, and just different things for this one time that I've been doing it. I've been journaling regularly without a video and just kind of taking screenshots of the charts. But this, in my opinion, is a lot better, a lot more in depth, and I don't have to read and try to figure out what I was thinking because I'm literally saying it as I'm showing it. So if you are a beginner, I would recommend it. Going forward, I am going to have kind of a new format for these videos. Obviously, this was the first week, so things are going to change. Things will probably even change after this. But the format that I want to try to go with for this upcoming week and possibly weeks after is still going to be predictions, midweek check-in, and review. However, I can't always guarantee a midweek check-in, but prediction should be around Sunday, maybe get posted on Monday. Midweek check-in should be Wednesday, Thursday, and then the review is going to be like Friday, Saturday. In this format, the predictions are going to give possible trades and also market direction. So a lot of the times we can see a market direction. We can see either a key level or an area of interest that we could look at to possibly take a trade. If not, we can predict what might happen in this market. For the review, it's pretty much going to be what it says it is. I'm going to look at what worked, what didn't work, and what am I looking to backtest. When you're looking at things that worked and didn't work, and you're thinking about the trades that you either took or didn't take, ones that won and ones that didn't, you want to kind of see what was going on. Were you following your trading plan? What was the culprit? And in doing that, a lot of the times you figure out things that maybe you need to backtest and take a closer look at. And of course, at the end of it all, I'm going to go over my current stats, what's my win rate for the week and what's my win rate for the year. And then I'm even going to do a little market direction thing. Again, in the predictions, we see that we're predicting the market direction. So something that I like to do that's been giving me confidence as a beginner is see how many market directions did I get correct. Now, a lot of the times price is going to show you, hey, yeah, actually, I'm not doing that. Or, hey, yeah, I am going to do that as price. It tells you what it's going to do. So we may find in some cases, yeah, my market direction was a little bit off, but price kind of told me it wasn't going to do what it planned on doing. Either way, I just want to see how often is my market direction accurate, because having a better sense of market direction and being more accurate in your market direction means really all you got to do is figure out an entry, stop loss, and take profit that can be profitable for you. So this is what I plan to do for these upcoming videos. If you choose to stay and watch, if you choose to follow me along on my journey, again, thank you for watching. I appreciate it, and I'll catch y'all in the next video.